Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you a little tutorial on how to open against Zerg, especially with Skytoss in this current patch. So I'm going to start to play rapidly because at 7 seconds you actually need to chrono boost your Nexus. There you go. 7 or 8 seconds, doesn't really matter. It depends on maps, but it lines up perfectly to queue another worker. So this is how you have to do it. It's actually very important to not skip this chrono boost. The first pylon is going to go down at 12. So right now I'm at 11 supply, so I'm gonna rally down my worker because we play against Zerg. It's gonna be even more important nowadays to actually micro your workers to the closest locations. There we go, so pylon at 12, the worker can go back to mine some minerals, right? And try to put your workers in the 4 closest mineral patch, like this one, this one, this one. These are very visibly closer. Since you have less workers to work with, it's gonna be even more important to put them in the closest patches. So at 14 supply, the probe that has just made the pylon and mine some minerals will also get a gateway and then proceed to scout across the map. At 15 supply, at 14 we're gonna rally so that at 15 we can get a geyser. There you go. Not everybody is opening the same way actually nowadays. We have different philosophies. My philosophy is to keep the game as close to what we used to do before, because it's what makes most sense in my opinion. So I try to keep the game somewhat similar. So instead of going 20 Nexus and 20 Core, as we used to do before, it's going to be 18 Nexus and 18 Core. Right now I'm playing against an AI, so there's not much to see, of course. This probe will also be rallied to the gas. I think this way it works not too bad. And you individually grab one of your probe to put it to the Nexus line. And you see, as it arrives, I've got exactly 400, so I can make my Nexus at 18. And this probe, this one is going to rally to the gas. So you have 3 out of 3. And you will see it will line up not too bad. Now core at 18. There we go. This probe is going to go back to mining. Ideally, we put 2 probes on the closest mineral patches. And we're gonna go 19 gas. That's basically the same build as before, right? But you just have different numbers, but you follow the same order. So people ask me, do you think all my builds are screwed of now? Should I still be able to open the same way? Well, roughly speaking, you should still be able to play the same way. But instead of following the timer or the supply, you just follow the order, right? So this is how you do it. Once again, pylon finishes, you chrono boost the Nexus, and you've got the choice to chrono boost your Adept or not, depending on what your opponent is doing. If you're facing Zerglings, go ahead and chrono boost your Adept. If not, just skip it. You're gonna have a bit more economy because you're going to spend 1 more chrono boost in probes rather than the Adept. You should be able to afford Warp Gate right after that. There we go. Once again, we're going to put the emphasis on putting probes on the closest mineral patches, and we're going to chrono boost both our Nexus once the natural finishes. Once again, put your probes in the closest mineral patches, the 4 ones, like 1, 2, 3, 4. We can take the moment to hotkey the Stargate, set up the rally point because not much is going on at this point. As the AI is sending a random drone across the map, we're not going to put too much emphasis or focus on it. The only thing you have to remember is because you're going to be supply blocked earlier than usual because this Nexus now provides less supply. So we need the pylon at 39, otherwise we're going to be supply blocked for Oracle number 2. But there won't be Oracle number 2 because we're gonna play Skytoss, right? So you can open with a Void Ray if you like it better. Nothing wrong with that. The reason why I like to open with an Oracle is because nowadays economy is basically a bit more valuable. You have less workers, so losing workers is actually more significant. So you want to keep your opponent in check. I'm gonna go Stalker as a 3rd unit so that I can kill Overlords if my opponent decides to send any. Once again, this is more of a beginner-friendly build more than a pro player build. So if you can kill a couple drones now, it's the moment to do it. Rapidly get back home and make sure you macro, so you have your workers inside your geysers. If you don't get the probes in the geysers, you're gonna struggle to actually make the buildings that you want to make. And I'm supply blocked like a retard, but it's okay. Doesn't matter. Oh no, it's okay. No, I'm bad. That's okay. Man, I'm getting angry for no reason. This is what happens when it's 42 degrees. You get irritated for no reason. So, Fleet Beacon, right? And 2 Stargates, and we're gonna go either Tempest or Carrier. It's totally up to you. Once again, we're not transforming the gateways into warp gates, at least not now. Both our bases are fully saturated, so now it's going to be time to expand. So we're gonna send both Adepts like that in between the mineral patches. The Stalker, which is a bit more tanky, is gonna take its place inside the wall. We're gonna be making a Nexus. And now it's extremely important to have enough supply to be able to afford whatever units we're trying to make. So we can make Carriers or Tempest. I've already made a Tempest guide on this channel. So I'm going to go double Carrier. I think I find it pretty fun too. So I'm going to rally the Nexus back over here. Get a little pylon over there. It's very important to queue the Carriers as fast as you can, right? You don't want to wait and get a pylon here. No, just optimize the supply in such a way that you can always queue your Carriers the moment your fleet beacon finishes. So now you have to anticipate a little bit because, well, we're gonna need to go Carrier 3 and 4, and we need enough supply for that. Right now I'm at 73 out of 82. I've got 1 more supply. So if you finished high school, you should be able to know that that's enough supply to actually afford the next 2 ones. Of course, in a real game, there would never be an overseer this fast into games because I'm playing the AI, which plays the most crazy build or builds that don't really make any sense. That's okay. Once Carrier 2 and 3 pop, you can queue +1 air. What is the AI doing? But this AI is sure not gonna take over the world, let me tell you that. So now with the Adepts, you can do a little bit of a anti-scouting work, because if you see this core spinning, it's a bit of a giveaway that you're getting the air upgrade at this point. So you can guard your core with 2 Adepts, not shoot it ideally, and this will help you know what's going on. So next phase is you're going to get this upgrade, Flux Veins, the Void Ray speed, because we're going to rally Void Rays to help our Carriers, and we're going to make Void Rays anyway because they're a good anti-corruptor unit. The natural counter of this build is of course to make what is it called, Corruptors. So we really want to get Void Rays that deal with them very well. Get your gases rapidly because we don't care as much about minerals, simply because, well, air units are very gas heavy. Make sure you've got a supply in the bank. Right now your Carriers are crossing the map, so you don't really need to take care of them. They're just doing their job. Get supply for the next round, put workers in your gas, get a forge because you're going to need to spend your minerals one way or the other, and cannons is a very good way to do that. Now we're going to take a 4th in the meantime. And now we can just get back on our carrier production, or Void Ray production I should say. And now the goal is to keep enough energy for a recall. I did not do that because, well, I'm bad, but if you're good, you should keep enough energy for a recall. And then the moment Corruptors show up, you can just right click 10 times in a row and just box them in the same spot and then recall your units, right? That's the idea. You will have a bit more money at some point. This is the moment you queue a mothership, right? So you have a bit more money than usual. This is perfectly normal. The money I'm talking about especially is gas, right? And the extra minerals you have, get cannons over here on the edge. Get some batteries of support. And once again, make sure you get your gases right away. The moment your 4th is done, you should have 6 workers ready to mine on both these geysers, because we care way more about gas than we do about minerals. Make sure to put some security on the edges too, some cannons over here. Chrono Boost should go on your mothership at this point. You could Chrono Boost extra Void Rays, and once you have a bit of extra cash, you can get +2 air. Attack upgrades actually have a huge impact on Carriers, because they shoot, of course, 8 interceptors, and they shoot slowly. I mean, they shoot rapidly on the opposite, but small amounts of damage. So if you're able to increase that amount of damage, it's going to increase the overall DPS in a big way, just like when you make Marines. Later in the game, you're going to add extra Stargates, of course, because you have more income coming in, so you need to be able to match that with your production. And as you reach 150, 160 supply, you're going to add Twilight Council and 2 extra gates that will be turned into warp gates. You can already turn these ones into warp gates. The reason why we're doing this is because Vipers and Infestors are gonna be on the menu, and Vipers are especially amazing as Void Rays because they can they clump up rapidly. So of course, Blinding Cloud play a big Blinding Cloud. Parasitic Bomb, there you go, is playing a big role. So you want to be able to get High Templars to feed back our nasty Vipers. Basically, what is the game plan from this point? The game plan would be to max out with Carrier, Void Ray, Tempest, Mothership, a few High Templars. And the High Templars are going to be extremely important to be kept alive. Do not lose them stupidly. And once you have +2 air, or potentially +3 air, if it takes longer for you to reach this upgrade, you can go with +3 attack and have a nice timing attack, because usually at this point, Corruptors will have maximum +1 armor, and your Carriers will have +3 attack. Which means your Carriers will deal insane amount of damage, and you have a very powerful timing attack. The extra minerals you have, do not hesitate to spam cannons, because you do not have warp gates, or you do not have upgraded units. I mean, you have no charge, you have none of that. So defending run-by is going to be difficult. This is why it's very critical to make cannons in a very generous way, especially if you see ultras. If you see ultras, you can do SimCities like this. Like, I'm getting cannons, and you can surround the cannons with buildings like stargates or gates, whatever, so you can protect this building, right? And the game plan is basically wait for +3 attack, be maxed out on mostly carriers. Now we're going to go back to making carriers. 10 Void Rays is good enough, right? The rest should be carriers, potentially Tempest, but at most level, carriers are doing a great job. +3 attack, air. You could even get shields upgrade, get 4 High Templars, and then just go for it and see what happens. All right, I'm gonna post more tutorials on this channel, of course, and on my RTS dojo, my website with Elaser and Piotr. I was gonna say Soul, but now it's Spirit. So I hope you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.